Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen. Qpad going to be facing off against Sigma International here in our 5th game of the day. Only 2 more coming up after this, but games 6 and 7 will include Na'Vi. Here we have to get through this one though, and Sigma hot off their win over Empire. We'll see how they fare against Qpad. I'm Zyori. With me once again is Cinderin. How you feeling here, buddy?
Still feeling good. Hope you are as well. Now we're
yeah.
This is match number 5, if I remember correctly.
Yes, number 5.
Yes, it is. So we're perfectly on schedule. Actually, it's 8 o'clock and we're already in the draft. So
yeah, today
BTS is not
well.
behind the schedule today. Twitch chat. Today we are just beyond the summit, but we are indeed going to get into Sigma International against Qpad, and like you said, Sigma last game, very impressive performance from them, I've got to say. They played such an incredible game, and
yeah,
looking to set off in the same on the same note with Bane and Crystal Maiden once again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually, after that game, I couldn't resist. I poked Mad, the Bucking Mad, whatever you want to call him, on Skype and said, hey man, that was some pretty sick Bane action, and he totally agreed. He's just like, dude, Bane is so good. Nightmare is like the best. Nightmare is the best defensive ability you can grab. It's so much better than the disruptions, and that's why we love Bane so much. So a little bit of Bucking Mad insight there. Not that we're surprised to hear he loves Bane, but yeah, he really loves Bane. He reaffirmed it for me.
He doesn't love Bane. He really loves Bane. In other news, all right.
Oh boy. So,
yeah,
but Slark grabbed once again here. This is going to be sort of interesting. They did well against him last time. Hopefully Qpad can switch it up or do something to have this Slark have a larger impact than Empire's.
The one thing I'm worried for about for Qpad already is that in the last few games we've cast with Qpad, I think they haven't really been showing the strongest performance in the laning stage. Obviously still a very new roster, kind of. I mean, with the stand-ins, I'm not sure if these are going to be the new Qpad players, but a very new roster nevertheless, with a lot of fresh blood coming in, so they still need to get used to playing with each other, and especially in the laning stage, it seems like not quite sure what they want to do, and their execution sometimes not on the spot, whereas Sigma, like we saw last game, incredible laning team.
Yeah.
So if that is Qpad's weakness and Sigma's biggest strength, and it happens in the first stage of the game, I'm hoping for Qpad that they play a good early game, because else this game is going to be over very quickly, just from experience of how sigma.int plays and how Qpad plays. They need to have a good early game, and they're drafting for it at least with the Visage and Slark, 2 heroes that can definitely perform in lane. I think if they go too greedy, they're going to be punished really hard. Just like Empire were in last game with that Enigma. I said it before the game started that could prove to be a mistake, and I think it really did. They didn't have the present they needed out of that hero, and Qpad are going to go with another strong laner with Batrider.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, important to note for Qpad, of course, they have 3 official stand-ins, but at least we recognize these stand-ins. We've seen SLHZ, the mouthful of a name, a couple of times over the past few days, and he is a pretty skilled player, even though we don't really know exactly who he is. There isn't a big following that handle. Villic and RMN also stand-ins that we'll recognize. So at least Qpad have the stand-ins that they're used to having stand-in, which is a step in the right direction, because over the past few days we have seen them use some other members that they haven't played with quite as much. So fingers crossed here, they have what it takes, the skills to pay the bills, so to speak. But Sigma with a very scary draft as well. Dragon Knight going to be a nice staple hero for that mid lane to go up against the Batrider, and of course now they've got some Rat Dota style with that Nature's Prophet.
I'm not sure that's what they plan on using it for, though. A team like Sigma International is probably one of the teams that want to be as active as possible with the Prophet rather than just split pushing. They want to team fight with the level 6 ultimate. Either team fight or win lanes with ganks. We saw it the last time they had Nature's Prophet did get some really good ganks off because of the extra bonus damage they could get out of the Wrath of Nature. And the lanes they have right now, excellent setups for Prophet. There's tons of time for him to get in on a lane with a Crystal Maiden and Bane. Dragon Knight as well has a setup stun that Prophet can TP in beforehand and then do a lot of damage during. And just looking really good overall for Sigma. Interestingly enough, as we talked about, I think yesterday, Slark does well in lane against Dragon Knight, but that didn't prevent Sigma from picking up the Dragon Knight regardless. And might just be banking on winning that on individual skill, and by no means a lane that Dragon Knight gets crushed in, but a lane that I still think Slark, if he plays it well, does well in.
Yeah.
And could win as well by quite a margin, but not like an OD would, for example. He does well, but doesn't stomp.
Yes, that's a good way to put it, I think. Bristleback will be the 4th pick for Qpad. And looking like an off-lane Bristleback, I'm going to bet it's Batrider in the mid, and I think they're going to tri-lane this Slark, or they may grab a jungler, but I think they're going to want to put Slark in this safe lane and let him soak up a good bit of farm, because as we've seen, very momentum-based, needs to kind of snowball, and if you have that presence as he did in the last game, where he gets boxed out a little bit of the laning phase and then doesn't get any kind of recovery kills once you start to transition into the mid-game, Slark does fall off pretty quickly, and I think Qpad will be well advised to secure some safe farm for Slark. Obviously, they don't have an Enigma here, so a little bit more flexible with what they can do, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll see what their last support is going to be. Potentially jungling the Batrider, but I think that's just... Jungling Batrider is something pre-679. It doesn't work so well anymore, especially because the camp rotation you would usually do is now harder.
Yeah.
The previous small camp is now the medium camp, so you can't farm that just with Firefly, and you also risk the... You run the risk of running into two golems there as well, which are awful for Batrider. So,
you know, it's interesting because I was on the same page as you, and I asked Notel about this, and he told me that in some cases, if you get a little bit of RNG on your side, the changes in the jungle can actually be a buff for Batrider, because now it's 2 more difficult camps, and if you can kill both of them with a couple of stacks, you do get farm more quickly. Of course, the outlier, the thing that throws a wrench into the mix, are the mud golems, like you pointed out. So it's sort of it has gained some, but has also lost some. So I think a little bit more difficult for Batrider, and there is a higher degree of luck, which makes it kind of interesting. But I was really surprised to hear Notel say that, because I thought it was really just a straight nerf to Batrider's jungling prowess.
I completely agree with him once Batrider reaches level 2, but he needs to get the level 2 first. Yes. I don't think you can do the medium camp first with just Firefly.
Yes,
of course, if you kite them a bit and do some hits, but it takes too long. And after that, of course, his rotation in the jungle is going to be faster if he gets the right camps. But once again, you don't really want to play your game dependent on RNG on that creep camp for Batrider. That's really too big of a risk. They are going to get the Enigma that you talked about as their jungler.
So yeah, that whole point about having a little bit more breathing room and flexibility with these lanes kind of going to go out the window here. Who is their mid player? Now with these standouts, I'm struggling to remember. I think Villic has played mid. Yeah, Blue Banana going to be usually in that off-lane role. So
could be off-lane Slark.
It could be an off-lane Slark here, and that would mean a safe lane Bristleback with, of course, Enigma in the jungle. So going to be interesting for Qpad. Hopefully this isn't a rinse and repeat of last game. We didn't mention about that Luna last pick, but of course going to be Sachka's hero here, and I think fits into this draft pretty nicely.
And if things go the way they did last game with how sigma.int played, there's going to be a lot of aggression early on, and I don't think Qpad has the best lineup for dealing with this kind of stuff. One thing is Enigma being in the jungle. Another problem is that they don't really have too much to bring to the table until Batrider gets a Blink Dagger. I think there's a lot of the potential of Qpad's lineup is really dependent on the Bat. So until they get that Blink, I think it's going to be hard. And Sigma, on the other hand, they have lots of ways of initiating. They have the Bane, they have the Crystal Maiden, Dragon Knight stun in ultimate form, even a Prophet TPing in with a Sprout. They are not lacking ways of initiating into a fight, whereas I think Qpad is a little bit more restricted. And, well, we'll see when we get to that stage, because Sigma is a team that sometimes don't even have a mid-game. They just, or makes the opponent not have a mid-game, rather. The game just ends so fast because the advantage is ridiculous. And if Sigma manages to do that this time again, once again, Qpad with a lineup that just... there's the dog. Qpad, they can't play this lineup from behind. It just doesn't work. Bristleback as well as Slark as the 2 carries, they have to get off to a good start, because these heroes don't play well from behind. They are snowballing heroes. So Qpad will need a good early game, and if they get that, they have a chance, but I would still favor Sigma's draft just in pretty much every stage of the game. I think they have a more well-rounded lineup.
Yeah, and we'll see if once again they want to move into the enemy jungle right from the get-go here and put some wards down to make Enigma's life a little bit more difficult. We do see 2 sentries down on Bane, so perhaps that is the strategy they're going to go for. Of course, we are stuck in a pause here, and we'll see how it fares. Nature's Prophet with this Cyborg Matte HUD, it just matches perfectly. It's so adorable. I really do like this HUD, though. This is actually my first HUD, Cinderin. I'm not one that's crazy about cosmetics, and this is my first HUD. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I'm being told I can't be heard in-game. That is a little bit weird.
I actually don't see you popping up on my thing, so maybe Something...
actually not weird after all. There's something wrong here. Okay, let me just try to reconnect. I think I might have found out what that was. Alright, this is... Why did I even see that? That almost seems like a bug.
Yeah.
I can... Oh god, I'm not assigned to your channel. Are you serious?
Oh, you never sat?
I guess I never sat, because I can choose what camera I want. God damn it. Okay.
That
we
is
could ask
the
for a
source of the
remake
problem.
since it's paused anyway, if the teams don't mind, but I feel like, once again, that's kind of...
I'm thinking that we should... Well, if it was up to me, I would say just go with it, and we've got the Twitch stream, and sorry ticket holders, but it will be a little bit of a lopsided in-game cast. That would be my temptation, though we could always hop out and cast from the ticket, though that doesn't solve the in-game issue either. I don't know. If you want to ask for a remake, I'll back you up, but I won't be the one to ask for it, let me put it that way.
Alright, I'll ask. Nah, it's too much of a hassle to do that for that. So that one is on me. I'm sorry guys watching in Dota TV, that's my fault, 100% of course.
Guys, on Dota TV, Cinderin is apologizing. He did not sit, so sorry about that.
Thank you for bringing on the message, that's excellent. So yeah, unfortunately a mistake on my end, so I'll pay a little bit more attention to that mixed game. Mistakes do happen once in a while. So,
yep.
Yeah, let's have a look at this from how the lanes can be set. We obviously can't be sure about what's going to happen just now, but I'm imagining we're going to see the Bat Rider going to the mid lane. I guess we can introduce the teams to all we post anyway, so that's over and done with. We're going to have Villic on the Bat Rider, Blue Banana on the Slark, Durham will be playing Visage, then we've got RMN on Enigma, and finally, I like to call him Slash, just so we have something to call him, instead of SLHZ. It's terrible.
Slash
very hard to say for casters.
Is good.
So I'm assuming they'll put the Bat Rider mid and Bristle back as the easy lane farmer with the Slark off lane. Could also be the other way around, but regardless, I feel like the problem that Qpad is going to handle or be faced with from the start is that they will probably be at a deficit in laning, and that's one thing you really don't want against Sigma.
Yeah.
And what do you think? What are they going to do, and who's playing what?
That's a good question. Let's think about this a little bit here, and as we see, it is actually SLHZ. That is not short for something, but he is giving us affirmation here that that's how you're supposed to say it. Look at, I'm getting some sympathy from Mad. That sucks to cast, man. Good luck. Thanks. We're gonna need it. Each word. I think he means each letter, but let's see here. True that. So, okay. Paying attention here. I think that they're going to try and block the spawns from Enigma. I think they're going to put Dragon Knight mid. Of course, it is Fada. And I think they're probably just going to end up putting Miggle in the off lane. And then they're just going to do this try with Pos and Mad joining Luna in the safe lane. I think they're going to be pretty standard about it. And, you know, just to try and secure Luna's farm, depending on what Qpandas do. If they put Bristle back in the long lane, they'll maybe try and get Luna a little bit of an advantage, maybe set up a kill on the Bristle, and then once Sachka can hold it on his own, they'll rotate about, maybe set up a kill mid, and support top if need be. But I think this is a game where they'll be pretty comfortable with the standard Nature's Prophet off lane, let him rotate into the jungle, and throw the DK in the mid. That's the way I see it.
Most likely that is going to be their choice here. Not quite sure why we're still paused. I think both teams had some sort of
VoIP issues, I think, yeah.
Yeah, both teams were talking about voice issues, I believe. So, not quite sure. I hope they get that resolved soon. So, both the teams and the caster have voice issues, apparently. I am, of course, once again, sorry for failing on a very, very simple task. Yeah. Oh, well. Well, not going to happen again. I'll promise you guys that. That's a very stupid mistake.
One game out of the 120 that we have in the round robin or so. So I see some folks in chat just like, this is why I don't buy tickets. Well, sorry, man. Shit does happen sometimes. Don't worry. It happened with myself and Merlini a time or two. I think there was once Merlini didn't make it in, and we cast it off of the Dota TV ticket, and there was just no in-game for that. So it does happen. Not to worry. You will have to feel the full fury of Twitch chat, though, which can be pretty scary at times. I'm not envious of you, my friend. There's a lot of them in there, and their pitchforks are pointy.
My turn to get a little bit of flack. Well,
unleashing the flak cannon.
What else can we look at here? I mean, the options that the teams have are cosmetics. Yeah, what a healthy looking Luna. I have to say This is going to, once again, come down to the execution in lanes out of mainly Qpad, because I feel like Sigma has the advantage already, so it's on Qpad to make good moves.
Yeah.
If Sigma just play their lanes stable, and as well as they usually do, they will probably get a solid head start here, so... But who's going to make them for Qpad once again? I'm just looking at their draft and I don't see who will win them the lanes. There's not that much potential when they pick that greedy Enigma last and Visage as the solo support on the lane. It's just hard to imagine Qpad getting a good start.
I really agree. I'm not a big fan of the Enigma last pick here, and that was sort of the point I was trying to make when we were looking at those 5th bands of, wow, this is really good compared to a sort of a similar lineup in terms of what Sigma drafted, some similar heroes, and also the Slark 2nd pick. I was like, all right, they're going to have a lot more room here. They can move around, they can make those lane adjustments, and they can make sure that Slark will get farm. And then, of course, they proved me wrong and grabbed the Enigma, and now they're stuck in that same sort of conundrum that Empire were stuck in last game, where they're going to be locked into this. I mean, they're going to put Blue Banana and Durham presumably up top, and then the offlane Bristleback, and let's say things go awry. Let's say Bristleback doesn't fare well in this tri-lane. What's he going to do? SLHZ can't really move into the jungle too easily. Enigma's already going to be farming it, and Bat Rider will want to be moving in if he gets any kind of breathing room or things go south for him as well. So jungle going to be out of the picture. Bristleback could very quickly fall off, and conversely, if Sigma just do an aggressive tri-lane in the long lane, it's going to be a 3v2, and although Slark and Visage can put out a fair bit of damage, I don't know that they'll be able to withstand the Bane CM dual supports of Sigma, especially paired with a Luna. Because as we mentioned in the draft, Bane and Crystal Maiden are two very aggressive supports that can do a lot of damage. And with that Nightmare reset, would be difficult for them to set up kills, I think, even though Slark and Visage have a lot of damage. So I'm inclined to agree with you, my friend. I think Qpandas are going to have their work cut out for them here.
Yep. Well, let's see. It's
just
okay.
sec. We will forfeit if we can't finish in 40.
Okay.
Jeez, that's a bold thing to say as we resume.
Well, I guess Qpad doesn't have too much to lose here anyway. They're running the tournament. They're in a position now where it won't matter what the results are. They're basically just playing to try to improve their score, which is currently 3-8, whereas Sigma currently 7-2. It's very important for them to get their win. So
yes,
Qpad,
that is true.
They're probably just taking it as practice and experience and a bit of exposure and fun for them, and we'll see what kind of a fight they can put up. We're at least going to see an aggressive trial lane coming out from Sigma here. They will be running Luna, that's not Enigma, that's a Bane.
Yeah.
Luna, Bane, and Crystal Maiden up here. Enigma's on the other side, and he will be maybe going to the Radiant jungle like Empire tried to do last game, but they didn't really have much success with that. Still,
yeah.
Starting to see a pattern here in what Mad does. He moved exactly the same way, and now he'll probably put down the same sentry ward in the same spot where he's waiting on it a bit. Hasn't used it just yet.
He actually needs to be a little careful. Yeah, Durham going to be there. Furion will scout it out, so Mad can path around. Smart pathing here, though. He will bump into Slark. Blue Banana. Got him setting his sights. Not going to be able to make it happen. So this time, Mad not going to block all the spawns. Just going to be this one here. We see it pinged out by the Dire, so they know what's going on. They know this spawn is going to be blocked. Nothing too crazy about it. Now he's going to go back in. Does throw a sentry down on the low ground here. Okay, there you go. That's what I was sort of talking about in the last game. Of course, we had that nice discussion about putting the wards on the high ground and the box to the creep camps. This one should block it.
Definitely blocks. When you put it in the middle of a camp, it's usually good.
Usually a good sign. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, alright. So how are these lanes actually going to settle down? The mid lane was the more predictable. Bat Rider and DK going to be there. It will be that Bristleback off lane played by SLHZ with his work cut out for him. Though it is going to be a 2-1-2 from Sigma to start things off. Mad going to be on the Bane up top, and he's going to start harassing back the Blue Banana. He'll be joining Miguel up here. And down bottom, wow, SLHZ. Is he going to fall? Oh, no. What happened? I saw him harassing. I glanced up top and... Jeez, it's a lot of damage.
These two heroes combined have a lot of damage, of course. Frostbite is one of the highest damage spells on level 1. Just a very strong amount of... Yeah, well, how much does it do? 140 magical on level 1, so... Yeah, arguably one of the hardest single-target nukes in the game, and then you combine it with a Luna, who has the time to run next to Bristleback and get multiple hits off. Since Bristleback skilled Quill Spray, which you do on level 1, then he doesn't have a point in Bristleback yet, so it doesn't matter whether they hit him from the back or the side or not.
Very true.
So their damage is unreduced by anything else than the Stout Shield, and because of that, during the Frostbite, they just keep getting these attacks off. Luna's being very fast. Pass gets the boots now, actually, after that first blood went his way, so gotta be very hard for Bristle. No doubt about it, he shouldn't be dying here, so this kind of lane, but you can sometimes get a bit surprised by how much damage Luna plus any sort of hero she is with can do with this Lunar Blessing. If you look at the percentage, she actually gives Pass plus 33% physical damage. He has 42 plus 14. So that is kind of like having 1/3 of a double damage rune on your CM right there, and your Luna as well.
With you not in my broadcaster slot, I can't see what your camera's on, but I don't know if you've looked up top here. Visage in a very bad position. Furion has his creeps in front, and he's trying to path block here to set up more room for Mad. He does have that first point in Brain Sap, and this is going to be a kill. Brain Sap in one auto attack should be enough to finish him off. Hey Zyori, can you tell me Frederic? Can you call me Frederic Malretto this game? I'll try. How's that? And, oh, there we go. So that's the kill on Visage. I messed up the camera a little bit trying to type that. But now Blue Banana actually going to take a bit of harassment as well. So 2 very early kills for Sigma. We were talking about their great laning presence, and I don't think you can really get off to a much better start than this.
Well, they're doing very well. The only guy who's struggling is Dragon Knight in the mid, but of course understandable playing against Bat Rider with a melee hero. That's very hard. Still, he will have his bottle flying out, or moving out right now, on the Dragon Knight, and that's when things get easier, because now he can just farm with his Breathe Fire. Bat Rider's going to get his bottle as well. And then it's going to be a fight for the runes, basically. Who gets the push at the right time, who gets the control.
Yep.
Also doing some good denying here.
Yeah, I was admiring the item set of Nature's Prophet. I have that same cloak that he has, the same strange one. That just makes me feel so good about my cosmetics. But yeah, Miggle doing very well here. He has 7-1 to start things off in this long lane, and Mad coming back in here. They're going to hold steady with this 2-1-2. So
because they realize this is so smart. Then they realize that Enigma. The Enigma pick kind of locks Qpad in place. That's the reason why Sigma see the opportunity to run this kind of lane. Bane Prophet is a very unusual lane, but it can completely work in this kind of scenario because of the way Enigma is impacting everything. And Matt is just playing an amazing bait here. He's letting them go on him. Actually won't be able to finish off Blue Banana here, but he's going in so aggressively. This is really cocky, actually, from Sigma. They're gonna lose profit for this.
Yeah, Miggle gonna pay for it.
That was a little too much self-confidence there in that kind of move from Mad, but could have actually worked. They almost got the Slark with the bait. He does get the kill and get away.
Yep, with that early level 3 here on Bane, of course, 2 points in the Brain Sap, and did heal him up. At first glance, it's like, Mad, what are you doing? And then, oh yes, the Brain Sap, you're just trying to bait it out. So a close call indeed. In the mid, though, Bat Rider and Dragon Knight, a pretty even exchange. Fada, a.k.a. Frederic Malretto, doing pretty well on that Dragon Knight, sitting 13-6 against the 13-0 Bat Rider, who is sitting level 4 right now. So a pretty even exchange. Of course, a denied difference, but still pretty decent farm for the Bat Rider. Mad just moving around the jungle still, keeping things scouted out. RMN definitely going to be off to a slow start here. Of course, they do have some of their camps blocked. Now Bane going to be in a little bit of trouble. The Pounce will leash. So Bane going to be okay for now. Going to take another nuke from the Visage, and will survive to tell the tale. Now Nature's Prophet coming in is going to use a Brain Sap on Blue Banana. He's out of regen as well. He doesn't even have any tangos left, so now he is going to be forced to back up. Durham very, very low also. We see the Treants trying to pursue, and they will not be able to secure the kill. Arman does have a couple of tangos on him, but not going to do much for his weak buddies there. Bristleback is stacking the Ancients, or, well, he's thinking about stacking the Ancients. Unfortunately, there's a Sentry down here. Gonna make his life a little bit... Oh, it's a Dire Sentry. My mistake. So I guess that was counter... Was it warded and then he countered it? I hadn't been looking up here on the
yeah, it was Observer warded and then he countered it with a Sentry, but he's... Yeah. I think the top Sentry he has at the camp is blocking... No, maybe it actually isn't. He just failed to stack there because
that one failed.
The Ancient Thunderhide cast the Frenzy ability and then it stayed in place, so it didn't follow him. So a little bit unfortunate there. I think he can... I think the wards are correctly placed here to allow the camp to spawn again, but I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that's good enough.
We'll check it next time and see if that's true.
Yeah, he's probably trying again.
But he is getting completely boxed out here. SLHZ still level 1. Only 3-0 in last hits, really not doing so well against this duo lane. And I can't say that we should be too surprised. Villic in the mid lane, he's going to be in big trouble. Brain Sap comes, Elder Dragon form used. There's the Nightmare to set it up, and this should end up being a pretty easy kill. One more auto attack ought to do it. The Breathe Fire will certainly be sufficient, and down goes the Bat Rider. Well timed. That experience lead for Dragon Knight proved very effective here. He hit level 6, and Bat Rider still halfway through level 5. Had no lasso there to possibly try and turn that around. Great timing for Sigma, and they add another one to the board, now 3-1.
Enigma will be taking a bit of time in mid here, seeing that Bat Rider is away from there. But Villic will have to go back to the mid lane. Doesn't really have ganking potential just yet by being level 5. And looks like the aggression coming out from Sigma International in this game is even harder than in last game. Here comes the Nature's Prophet ult, going to hit on Durham, doing a lot of damage. Nightmare is available, will be used as well. And Durham, Grave Chill is going to expire during this, and they'll just be doing a couple of hits. That's a very, very weak soul assumption just there. Yeah. That did 20 damage, and meanwhile Paris as well will get a kill bottom, and actually survive it. Very nice.
Yeah, I did not catch the Luna kill, but did use a
the aggro to the creep wave there, after diving a bit.
Yeah, and wow, this top tier 1 tower already taking heavy pressure. Of course, there is a Nature's Prophet here. Glyph going to come out. They may be looking for a deny. A pounce forward from Slark, not going to connect with the deny. Mad going to be able to survive for now as he stands his ground. Going to use those wand charges. He's going to be able to make it out as the Slark has already gone down. Miggle going to try and go toe-to-toe with the Durham. Malphus going to come in. I don't know he's going to be able to do it. The Treants may be enough here, and indeed it is. That's going to be a double kill coming out for the Nature's Prophet, and the Bane survives. He does have enough for a Brain Sap here, so maybe looking to come back in. Enigma doesn't have much mana, so Mad doesn't have to be too worried.
He's trying to bait him. He's trying to bait him. Dragon Knight is nearby with an invis. RMN is going really aggressive on this. He doesn't even have mana.
Yeah, I don't know. He fell for it, but I don't know what his plan was. Now the Nature's Treant's going to come out, and that will be a very easy kill for the Dragon Knight. Going to make that roam well worth it. And Villic's still actually only level 5 in the mid lane. He's now going toe-to-toe with Pos. Is going to throw a Flame Break, just now going to hit level 6, and Pos going to be in big trouble. He's got 3 stacks of that sticky napalm. Will get lassoed back. Is going to get healed up here as he did use those wand charges. Now the defensive Nightmare once again. Are they going to be able to turn this around? Well, they'll make it a 1-for-1 at least. Nature's Prophet going to throw the ult once again. And, well, they minimize their losses. We'll be happy to trade a Crystal Maiden for the mid-hero of the Qpad Red Pandas. Now going to be 9-3 as Sigma continues their domination streak.
I actually think that was an... that was the first unnecessary sleep we've seen from Mad, or... bit of a misplay. He's been on point with all of his nightmares, but I think that one might have actually got past killed. I think he could have just run and get away, and maybe try to nightmare the Bat Rider instead, but that was a close call regardless, so... Yeah. And when you get 10 right in a row, I guess you have a little bit of leeway to make one mistake on that Bane, because to be honest, he's been playing flawlessly in both Game 1 and Game 2 so far of today for Sigma International. His Bane has been incredible. And now, 7,500 on gold and 7,000 on experience almost. We're 7 minutes in.
It's ridiculous.
I can't believe this advantage. I mean, one thing is getting that 1,000 gold and experience lead per minute that we've talked about generally decides that a game is over. But that they have it at 8 minutes is kind of unreal. Here's the Fiend Script in mid. Mad comes in. Dragon Knight, Fada is in behind him, getting a couple hits in. Yep. And another easy kill picked up. Nightmare onto the Enigma.
Enigma,
I think they're going to back out here.
Yeah, he is 6. He does have the Black Hole, so that threat may be enough for Sigma to be a little bit cautious here. Slark only level 6 himself, but still can do a fair bit of damage if they get stuck in a big Black Hole. Paris, aka Sachka, still down in this bottom lane, farming away, and now chipping away at this bottom tier 1 tower. No glyph is available, and he's just going to keep poking at it. That tower will definitely fall before too long here. The Thunder Lizards still have not been stacked. That sentry did go down, and I don't know if Bristleback just wasn't trying to stack it, or if that sentry did indeed block it. Sad that I didn't keep tabs on that, but... at the very least, this will be the end of the bottom tier 1 tower. SLHZ going to bring his way down. Frostbite from Pos as he comes around the backside. This Bristleback going to be in big trouble. He's got his back turned, but he's only level 3. 1 point in the Bristleback won't be enough to keep him alive. Now the ports come in. RMN and Durham going to be here. A double Sprout going to come out. And RMN in big trouble. He has that Black Hole support on the way. Miggle going to take a nuke from the Visage. Blue Banana ready to pursue. Well played by Sigma here so far. Pounce going to be far off the mark. No leash going to come. They will turn on the Enigma. Bat Rider going to get turned on as well. And Sigma just getting the better of Qpad right here. An easy 3-0 as they slowly backed up. We saw them just use those defensive abilities to keep everybody alive, wait for the support to come in, and then they turn it on them. well done. And oh god,
I think that's a record.
GG. This might be a it's certainly a Starladder Season 8 record. I'll give you that for sure.
I chose the right game to mess up with my mic in game in Dota 2,
Yeah,
right?
you really did. Fair enough,
I was effectively cut off for 9 minutes only for in-game coverage. But
wow,
I can't blame them. This game is over. That's just how it is. They already have an 11,000 gold lead and an 11,000 experience lead at 9 minutes. The picks from Qpanda way too greedy and didn't get off to anything in the lanes. Sigma just took immediate advantage of all the options they were given, and once again, my choice for MVP would probably be Mad. The Bane, all over the map, won the top lane, won the mid lane. I believe he might even have been, he was bottom as well in the end on that, so all over the map in 9 minutes, winning 3 lanes, and yeah, not too much analysis to be done on this game, to be honest. I feel like Qpad just too greedy, got killed a lot in the early game, and unable to come back from that.
I will certainly second that. Another convincing win for Sigma, so that will further Sigma's wonderful position here in the round-robin part of Starladder Season 8. Following that win, that does take them now to 8-2, so they actually do have one of the better records. Fnatic actually about on par with them, 7-2 themselves, and rox.kis right now 9-2. Those 3 teams are the 3 with the lowest amount of losses, the only 3 teams to have only conceded 2 losses thus far in the round robin. Though important to note, all 3 of those teams are semi-low on the amount of matches they've played, both Sigma and Fnatic, 9 and 10 matches apiece. We do have plenty more Dota coming your way here, folks. Next match coming up is going to be Fnatic versus Na'Vi, probably the highlight match of our day. Going to be very close, and it isn't going to be started for another 30 minutes or so. So there will be tunes coming here on the channel. Stay tuned. Use this as an opportunity to hop up, refill your beverage, and grab a snack. But Dota coverage will resume with Na'Vi versus Fnatic after this break.